Welcome back. US President Barack Obama signed into law on Wednesday an overhaul of banking and Wall Street regulations that is set to save the US economy from the worst recession since the 1930s. The law, pushed through many by Democrats in Washington's deeply partisan environment, comes almost 2 years after the near financial meltdown in 2008. The legislation gives the government new powers to break up companies that threaten the economy, shines more light on the financial markets that escaped the oversight of regulators, and creates a new agency to guard consumers in their financial transactions. Obama described them as common sense reforms that will help people in their daily lives and avoid some many risks.
Because of this law, the American people will never again be asked to foot the bill for Wall Street's mistakes. There will be no more tax-funded bailouts, period. These reforms represent the strongest consumer financial protections in history. In history.
Okay, hopefully that will bring some regulation in place. Moving on, staying with business and recession-related news, of course. It's not just the recession that is worrying the IT industry. Another issue lying at the core is threatening to dislodge the IT majors from the growth curve. Students who pass out from IT courses hope to take on the world with their new knowledge that they've gathered, but it seems that they will soon realize that all they know has actually just turned out to be outdated data. My colleague Ashmit Kumar has a look at the problem and seeks some possible answers.
Even as IT bellwethers look beyond the Euro crisis, there is yet another worry that is beginning to appear on the horizon for the IT sector. It is not only about the volume of demand for professionals, but also about the quality of education that is being offered to the IT aspirants. The sector is increasingly getting worried about the employability of wave after wave of IT graduates. The industry fears that the gap between the education system and the industry demands would engulf the progress of the sector.
We would like the student to know a lot more on how to apply the information than about the subject itself.
With rapid advancements in technology, the education pipeline is seen as stagnant, failing to keep pace with the industry requirements. Industry captains prescribe greater integration and interaction between the industry and the education sector.
We are not very sure whether we have the academic infrastructure to meet that kind of a demand, to take the supply side of the equation. So that's the reason why the industry has been talking to academic institutions, to the government, to industry bodies, saying that this is an important area.
Thus was born the ICT Academy for Tamil Nadu, a unique private-public partnership between the Tamil Nadu government and the CII. The Academy's mandate is to equip the teachers with the latest advancements with the objective of arming IT graduates with the necessary skills.
So if you put up an education, in a university, if you are putting a syllabus, it has to be changed on time and again because the technology is changing time and again. So we need to, the gap will always be there. We always require a kind of a training module which will at least lessen the gap.
However, response to this initiative has been lukewarm at best, with only a few IT companies coming forth. Here, experts caution that a proactive approach is vital for creating a pool that would feed the manpower needs of a dynamic IT sector. In Chennai, this is Ashmit Kumar for NDTV Hindu.
After 11 p.m., either the bar closes for the day or completely closes down. The police are on the crackdown to close down bars which are either working without license or working longer than 11 p.m. as goes the police diktat. A popular bar, it seems, in Kottivakam on the ECR road was forced to close down as it remained open for too long, actually up to 2 a.m. 5 people, including the managing director of Hotel La Watrina, have been arrested in connection with the incident. The arrested have been remanded to the Pural prison. On to that shameful, shocking revelation, in fact an allegation of a sex scandal in our national game. He may just be proven not guilty of all charges relating to sexual harassment, but the Indian women's hockey coach's resignation has put the Sports Authority of India in a fix, with neither party sure of how to resolve this situation.
जो बात हमने क्लियर करनी थी वो कमेटी के आगे क्लियर कर दी है और उसके बाद निर्णय फेवरेबली होगा, मेरी फेवर में ही होगा, लेकिन मैं टीम कोचिंग कंटिन्यू नहीं करना चाहूँगा.
A confusing situation indeed. MK Kaushik knows he's not guilty of sexual harassment, but clearly he doesn't want the job anymore. The committee members who heard him out also seem convinced that he is innocent.
The player has said without any proof No, that's nothing is supporting. If a third person is saying, yes, I have also heard what he used to tell the players. So she has nothing to explain on this issue.
So far, there's been only one player who's made allegations in a letter which has been signed by the rest of the team members. But now a lot of other voices are coming forward in the form of former players who've been sidelined. And that makes one wonder if there is a conspiracy theory behind all this.
It's not a shocking thing because मैं जब टीम में तो ये बात हुआ था, लेकिन ऑफिशियल के बीच में ही हो रहा था, टीम मेंबर्स के साथ नहीं हो रहा था.
Meanwhile, the interim body that is running hockey in India doesn't seem to have many ideas on how to resolve the issue. It's not even clear if they will make an attempt to get Kaushik to change his mind if he is officially cleared of these charges.
So Hockey India will now compile the reports from both the parties and submit it to the Sports Authority of India. Hockey India itself cannot do anything about it. It has to be done by SAI because both the video analyst and the coach are employees with the Sports Authority of India. With Vimal Mohan in New Delhi, Suprita Das for NDTV.
Now moving on to some entertainment news. Budding directors in Kollywood are facing a recession of sorts, it seems. A shortage of titles for their films, if you please, with many of them competing for the best ripped off film titles. That will take them a good run at the box office. What's their excuse? They're short of time.
Ever wonder why old popular film titles make jolting comebacks and why a young director has his hand in it almost always? Well, take the example of Ayirathil Oruvan, Bale Pandya and Naan Mahan Allah. The answer is simple. These fast and in this case imaginatively futile breed of directors take the easy route to capitalize on time. Titles are not the only rip-offs. Old songs and visuals from other movies are shelved out as photomatic copies.
And when you're looking for something like that, you need to have a name which can be once told, can be remembered.
Naan Mahan Allah director Susindran accepted the criticism and also says that it's due to lack of time that they are selecting the old titles which suit their story.
கற்பனை வளர்ச்சிங்கிற விஷயம் ஒரு ஆங்கிளில் நீங்கள் சொல்கிறது கரெக்ட். எனக்கு இங்கே டைம் ரொம்ப முக்கியமாக இருக்குது. இன்னமும் டைம் எடுத்து கொஞ்சம் யோசிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சிருந்தா சப்போஸ் வேற ஒரு டைட்டில் கூட இந்த ஸ்கிரிப்டுக்கு கிடைச்சிருக்கலாம்.
மேரேஜ்லாம் லைஃப்க்கு செட் ஆகாது தம்பி. அதனால தான் அரேஞ்ச் மேரேஜ் பேசலாம்.
என்னோடு நீயும் வந்தால் எல்லாமே கையில் சேரும். One of India's best scriptwriters and director K. Bhagiraj says young filmmakers are only following a fantasy by choosing old film titles and they should not tamper with the image of a successful film.
இன்னொருத்தர் ரொம்ப நாளைக்கு முன்னால செஞ்சிருப்பாங்க, ரொம்ப அழகா செஞ்சிருப்பாங்க, அதுக்கு ஒரு மரியாதைங்கிறது ஒன்று இருக்கும். So அந்த மரியாதை நம்ம கெடுத்த மாதிரி வந்துடக்கூடாது இல்லையா?
So while they wrench out heart and soul into a dream project, lending a bit of thought might do some good all the same. In Chennai, with Lalit Jude, Ramanathan for NDTV Hindu.
What's in a name, one would say. Well, moving on, after Gautam Menon's Vinay Thandi Varuvaya, this little superstar, as he's fondly called, was on a high, but now it seems he's in a shock. It's an open war between actor Simbu and director Lingusamy, with Simbu now left fuming over being fired from the Dayanidhi Aragiri production. It all started with reports of Simbu being sacked by Lingusamy in the upcoming movie in what the director called his unprofessional behavior by signing Vanam before that movie. But now the little superstar has come out with his version. He says he was asked by the director Lingusamy's Tirupati brothers to do a film with director Bhupati Pandyan. But later the scenario changed and the film was to be produced by Dayanidhi Aragiri's Cloud9 with Lingusamy directing it. And he was surprised to learn through the media that he was actually sacked from that project.
Actually, I was really shocked when I came to know about the news, but I don't know why the whole issue happened and whatever. It was almost been 160 days since we have not started shoot and all my dates have been wasted. And still now I haven't heard the script, the whole script, and they didn't give me the proper dates. And that was the issue. And with Cloud9 I have no issues because Durai is a very good friend of mine and we have a great rapport and we are planning to do some other movies in future. So I don't know why Lingusamy came up with this whole statement.
Well, pink slips are being not just given in your and my office, it seems it's being given in the film industry too. Well, today is the day that Facebook reached a milestone with about 500 million users. So it's time now for our special segment, Writing on the Wall. Divya Kumar gives us the special pick of this day.
on Writing on the Wall, I'm going to show you all about conserving the planet. Let's take a look at the updates. Deepika Nathan says, save planet Earth. It's the only planet with alcohol. And Manoj Beno adds on, very soon wedding and birthday gifts are going to be 10 liters of petrol. Very well said, Deepika and Manoj. I just can't wait to see how the world is going to be after 15 years. Continue to send your entries to feedback@ndtv-hindu.com and follow us on our Facebook account and write on our wall.
You bet. Best gifts can be actually liters of petrol, considering the price that it's selling, which almost the price of jewelry. Well, with this, we wrap this very special bulletin. You should keep watching NDTV Hindu, because up next is news in Tamil with Saudamani. Goodbye.